How's it going, everybody? Shadgon here, alongside Flyergo and Pasticheofskin, and once again, we're going to be talking about the latest NGS headline.
The surprise headlines. The stuff that we weren't expecting at all for February.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice surprises. That was one of the better headlines. Since they've actually added the operations, I'm looking forward to any headline because the operation questions are always going to be something that's relevant, something that's we're asking them for between time A to time B. But that was a lot of they did not tell us that they were going to tell us about this. Okay, I like this. This is it felt like a good proper end of year. Like, here's where we've been, here's where we're going, and here's a couple surprises. That was a solid show.
Yeah, that was probably the best headline out of all of them so far.
And thoughts on winter event and new seasonal weapons. And talked about it a little bit beforehand, but they're piling a lot of that on all at once. The Christmas thing a week after the major expansion, then we'll have the New Year's one, and most of January is straight up just snow and more of the same kind of season events.
It feels like they feel distinct because of the content that's actually in them, but it actually is like we're having a couple of days really to do. Here's the Christmas stuff. Here is because we need stuff that's coming on the 22nd anyway. But here's the Christmas stuff. Here's the New Year stuff, and here's the beginning of January stuff. And they all feel very similar, but they're all separate campaigns, and you have a limited amount of time to do all of them. And we're like, all right, okay, you keep me with things to do. That's no problem. I have to be here every couple of days. None of this is bad.
Yeah. I didn't see anything, but did they mention that the Retem region would have seasonal enemies as well, or was it all Central City and the area?
Retem will also have seasonal enemies.
Yes,
okay.
Because it is 5-star and there is seasonal UQs. The UQ bosses will be seasonal.
Yep.
So there's going to be a lot of use for those rare weapons, and considering the proportion of enemies in Retem that are wind sensitive, that's going to be a pretty solid weapon series whenever you pump up that elemental damage on top of it as well. So getting a 5-star elemental weapon, it looks pretty badass. There's one for everybody in the audience, which I'm thankful for, because the flame weapons no wait, actually that's a lie. There isn't a wind weapon for every single class, is there? Or no, there's one for every class, but there's not one for every weapon type.
Yeah, there's one for every class, but not for every weapon type.
Yeah.
Same as always.
No TMGs. Yeah, but there's no TMGs. That's one I think I remember noticing.
Ooh, that
can still
suck.
use rifle.
Why would a gunner use a rifle, though? That's like... Hey, I'm a Hunter Force and I main Talus. This is logical.
Sometimes I play Hunter Gunner and then I'm surprised. Hey, why can I use rifle PAs? Oh, right, Gunner can use rifle, but nobody does that.
There's no point. It's like gunners get spread shot like a ranger does, and that's exactly all their rifle ability.
Yeah,
like they just slapped it on there just so that they wouldn't have exclusively one weapon. But
yep, pretty much.
Way to not have TMGs. I guess it would still make your statement technically correct, but it's...
Yeah. As making a multi-weapon boots and rifle just for the purpose of switching out for the elemental damage or elemental down. It's like, I'll probably be still using my green because I play TMG boots. It's like, I won't want to be switching back and forth all the time. I'll put them on my palette. Can't guarantee I'll remember to switch them out often enough whenever I need to.
I probably will get the weapon camo they showed that's just a camo of the wind weapons, which is a really cool thing I wish they had done with the other ones. But personally I sub Force, so I could just grab a rod at any time if I'm worried about doing wind damage. Kill tree's not really set up for that, but I could.
It's just because it's specifically just the boots for me for elemental down. It'll be like, it'll be worth it no matter what. Just for that half second that you lose for the weapon switch, for actually like for the amount of total damage you'll do. It's like no matter what, it's going to be worthwhile for that reason alone. But yeah, I think that's the main thing that actually is like about this winter event is like everything else is exactly as we expect it to be. It is another seasonal event with the exact same shop, with the exact same materials from Jandy, with the exact same things that we're going to be seeing for sale, with the exact same amounts as we saw for sale the last time. It's just a 5-star weapon, and the fun that we can have with that in the new region, considering how very elemental relevant it actually is for the new elements that we have. So yeah, I'll look forward to that.
What was your favorite scratch ticket or item in the new scratches that caught your eye?
Oh, the most recent, like the ones that are coming, or the ones that we just had?
The ones that are coming up that they showed yesterday.
Yeah, that's a lot of scratch tickets. That's
there was
coming out. I mean, like currently, I am looking forward to actually like the voice packs, because like that's something that we haven't had in global, except for like what was it? We had 2 different ones from the PSO Komi. And then we had the Aina, Garua, and Manon voice packs. And I was like, I'm looking forward to having a few more options, but it's just for the uniqueness of actually being able to have voices on the global side of the game. It was just one of those things that like, oh, those weren't even that expensive in Japanese server in a lot of cases.
My favorite.
What I'm looking for is the violet ponytail hair that they showed. That's something I will wait for. And also, I don't know, but the later scratch, the edgy underworld, how it's called, that has had some dope male outfits. The streetwear, for example.
Yeah, I really appreciated that a lot of these had Type 1 outerwear finally.
Yep.
Like the samurai one, and then there was the streetwear one, which also looks really good, very cyberpunk. And I thought I saw some in the new SG scratch, the one that lets you look like Retem citizens. So they really quickly made good on making more T1 outfits. You know how many outerwears T1 characters have in all of NGS specifically right now? The answer is 2. And they're both from SG scratches.
Oh.
The fact that you did the research.
It's because I play a T1 character. So I was trying to look at fashion for it, and we have entirely 2, and I own them both. And there's Crawford's jacket, and then there's this other trench coat looking one that's barely a trench coat.
I mean, well, I suppose even for T2 characters, like the outerwears specifically, I think there is only 4, because you've got the arm armors that the girls have, the big baggy coat that actually goes off the shoulders, and then you've got the really tight little like the operator's jacket. I think those are like the main 3, and then there's color variants outside of that.
Seems
like just in general, like the outers have been actually lesser in many of the scratches. I think it's just the fact they've actually been going like, right, we'll make sure to cover like sets and base wears, and then they've just kind of like left outers to be in on the wayside, which is okay. I don't mind. It's just the fact that like if you're going to actually not produce outerwears, then why did you bother changing set wear into a ticket? You know? I was like, going, yeah, that's great. You made the set wears tickets, but you could have just left the outerwears and the set wears as the same as you did for PSO2, which was a pain in the arse. I didn't like having to carry all the items in my pockets.
Yeah.
But it feels like they're actually like in a transition from one to the other, and you're like, we don't know what way to put this. And it's like, well, you made a change without making a choice.
Yeah. Kind of feels like they're trying to make base wear and set wear more of a complete outfit than just like pants, which is fine, but I feel like it leaves some of the customization out, having one less thing to mix and match.
Like the fact that you can turn off optional items on like headwear and setwear, like optional dangly bits. That's good, but it feels like they've actually to do that. They've actually removed as much of the customizability that you might have had with some outfits, because now set where you're going like, right, can I put someone on top of my head or on my shoulders? That is really what you're doing for the customization.
Yep. And I am glad you can get rid of some of those ornaments, because let me tell you, the pool floaty that goes around your head on the bouncer outfit does not vibe with anything.
It doesn't vibe, but it also clips.
Yep. It's a pain in the ass.
I mean, clipping is one of the worst issues you can have when you're mixing different sets together. You even have clipping with the same sets.
Yep.
I was gonna say, it's like it doesn't even matter if it's actually like, even if you have that thing turned on, you have the optional object turned on, it still objectively runs into issues of everything else that you're wearing.
So we touched on it a little already, but JP voice tickets coming to global.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use a lot of the voice tickets personally. Ever since I got the Kirito one, that's basically the only one I use, and I just adjust the tone of it when I'm using different outfits.
I think it's one of the things that I get a little bit frustrated because, you know, like some of the triggering for voice lines, especially if you're playing bouncer. I don't know if it affects everybody in the same way, but throwing kicks, it's actually like they say the same line over and over again every third kick that you do.
Oh.
I'm like, it's like I'm gonna get sick of that very quickly. So like, I have been changing my voice a fair bit, and I still go in and actually like change the tones so they're kind of similar-ish to the ones I had previously. But the actual voice lines themselves can get a little bit annoying. Having some Japanese options, I'm happier with, because I won't understand the words they're saying, so it'll be just an interesting noise for some of them. So having Japanese voice lines doesn't upset me or annoy me in any way, shape, or form. I'm just happy to have more options because it just happens to be the way the triggering happens for the certain classes. But yeah, I'm a pack fiend. I'll actually collect everything if I can. So more options, more fun. Plus, I have a lot of alts. So like having a different voice for each alt would be nice.
How about them concerts?
Finally!
I said this already. We knew that was a concert stage from the moment we looked at it. Like, oh, well, that's a concert stage. And they're like,
yep.
Yeah, guaranteed. But who's going to be the musician? And like they said, the music of this one's going to be interesting. I was like, it's like those three bots are a boy band, and either she's the singer, or they're the singers, or they're the backup dancers, and it's going to be perfect. It'll be interesting. I did not expect them to actually be a band themselves, to actually be a big swing band with electric guitars and everything else. I was like, I'm here for it. I love it. It's a great choice, and it's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I really want weapon skins based off of their instruments.
Right? I really want that guitar to be a skin. Specifically so I can go beat the piss out of Dust Olvera with a guitar. That'll be the most cathartic revenge.
The Guitar Hero's Guitar Revenge.
Exactly. Here's how you play that. Wham!
I think it's hitting the back of his guitar to actually do the stun attack. It's beautiful.
Right.
That song is a bop and a half. It's like whenever it's playing the story mode, it's like, oh, I was so glad I actually was playing the music on for once, because normally I have game audio off and playing something else in the background. But yeah, it's a bop of a song. The actual lighting, the way that you have the stage set up, I'm going like, that'll look cool. I'm looking forward to actually having people surrounding that stage, jumping up and down non-stop to block out the camera view. I don't mind that happening, but it'll be fun to see.
Oh yeah.
Now the question is, does that same song go on tour? Because this is the Rotem region, and I'll be a Rotem stage. I have a feeling that concert going to Helio is what triggers off the side quest for that little the other thing that we're going to get to talk about in just a second. But like literally Madeira on tour, essentially what pisses off FALZ enough for that whole event to happen in the city. I'm like, yes, I'm on board with this. Especially if they make music a thing to the point where we're going like, oh, this is what actually angers the dolls or controls the dolls or whatever else. That means we need more musicians, we need more bands, and we need more concerts. Like we're not just doing people demand that they wanted to see this, but we're now going to make this fundamentally part of the plot.
Possibly. I have a theory about that goes along with the roadmap, but that is possible. I'm hoping it gives us boosts like Kuna's concerts did, and I kind of want to hear her take on some of Kuna's songs too, like
cover tracks.
Yeah, Nadara's 2 songs are cool, but she's only got the 2. I want to see like a like Eternal Encore, Retem version or something like that.
Yeah, a remix of this with her performing and maybe Kuna on the monitors.
Right?
Yeah. It's essentially it's Eternal Encore, the historical record. It's like doing like the Archaic record version. You know, like where it's like, oh, we found this in our histories. Manon's like doing her research and going like, I know this. Here, you should try this. You know, kind of like we've never. I don't know what'll happen if you sing it, but let's see what happens.
Right. Of course, Manon would know about it.
Because it felt like Manon has actually like really like pushed that plot point forward for like not saying much when she did speak. It's been very, very plot armor relevant.
That was actually cool to see her do though, because we've got actual character development now. Nadara had a whole character development arc. Aina just sort of talked, and Manon got to out herself as a huge nerd.
What? I have a library? Do I have somewhere to research it? Like, okay. Like, I don't mind this at all. I'm not a warrior, I'm a reader. I'm like, good. Fucking good, because you actually can tell us what the hell's going on.
She's the one character who knows how to Google search while the rest stare in awe at her incredible abilities.
Manon's special martial art is Google Foo.
Yep. Google Foo.
I'm on board with that. I'm on board with it.
So
I'm really looking forward to what happens in the future, especially with Manon, because she said a few things during Retem again. But I keep that all for imagination for now. I have my own theories there.
Theories as well. Oh, I'm trying to bring up our list of questions to make sure I don't speak too far past what we're actually saying up here. Yeah, that's bad. So I was worried that whenever I start chatting about Dark Falls, because it is the next thing we're planning to talk about.
I think that's where we're going anyways. Let's talk Dark Falls.
We've already got there. So the fact I actually had that concert and maybe followed up with like, and prepare to fight Dark Falls, and like, oh, that's cool. Oh shit!
Spawns out of nowhere.
I forgot that tower turns into a giant gun.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed the gun already. In chapter 1 at the end.
Yep. But
not everybody caught on. Not everybody caught on that the giant cannon is actually the big tower.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it was actually like somebody else's live stream. I was actually like, their reaction was like, "Oh, that's why there's no personal quarters." And I'm like, could you imagine being in your room and it's like, gun mode activated. Your whole room starts fucking rotating around you. You're like, the fuck?
Imagine your personal quarters, the bullet that gets shot at Dark.
Yep. Oh, everyone's gonna see that? Hold on, I gotta make a few changes to my room.
You can actually literally watch as the bullet goes out. It's actually literally all of your actual like anime posters along the wall on the side of the room gets launched out. No, my booba rugs!
Yep.
And all Dark Falls sees is some weird rooms coming towards him.
So as far as why he'd show up in the first place, I think the roadmap actually gives a hint at it. Because in February, one of the things we're getting is a Chapter 2 side story. So I wonder if he's going to show up for that, but I don't think we're going to take him out there. It looks obviously like there's going to be an urgent quest, because there's very obviously other players in that.
I mean, it could be both. Like, we could have this side story and where we have to fight him alone. And then there will also be the urgent quest where we have to take it on with friends.
Yeah, I figure kind of like we've got with Nexalio and Renus for Tem. But my thought is, it's probably not going to be the only time we fight him. Because I may be remembering this wrong, but I was under the impression we needed to go to every region to get parts for the cannon to be able to deal with him for good. And we've only been to half of them. So I'm wondering if we're not able to actually defeat him this time. But
I mean, I think the whole point of it is that we're fending them off. Is possible it is. They go like, well, we've got no other option. We need to fire the cannon, and this is going to break the cannon. We're literally breaking the cannon gun on the first try, and it's not going to end up going as well as we hope. And instead, and then it's going to be basically like both Nadira and Crawford make sure I get the right fucking name. Crawford, yeah. Said she goes like, no, right, you need to get out there. Go after it.
Natter's gonna have to do a lot of singing.
That's what I was saying. I think that's what triggers off is like Natara does her concert in Rotem, goes like, well, you need to bring this to Central City, and she goes to Central City, and just by doing that, like literally singing at the city, is like literally the target goes, the fuck? Turns around and looks at you like, no, I'm gonna come over here now.
Great. Well, I think
That's what it feels like.
I think it's also probably part of like assuming that Chapter 2's side story has to do with this. I'm guessing this is sort of his him having to respond because we've killed 2 legendary dolls at this point. We can only assume if Dark FALZ is the leader that these are like his generals, Nexalio and Renus. So half of his generals have been wiped out at this point. There's no reason to assume that wouldn't prompt a response from him. Mm-hmm. So going after Central City would make sense. But if we're not ready for him yet, yeah, this looks like given that even his fighting style appears to resemble Elders, this very much feels like we're going on Last Stand very quickly, and then we'll probably go to the other 2 regions to find a way to deal with him for good. The other thing that comes to mind is, what if we actually do beat him now with 2 other regions to deal with?
Easy. There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, so Dark FALZ is here. Dark FALZ has never not existed without something pulling his strings. Yeah. So what if we get rid of him now, and then the Profound Darkness shows up, which would be admittedly a bit early for in this Phantasy Star series for him to appear, but I don't know, it could. All right, so next up, the operation questions that were presented this time. I don't remember what all of them were.
Yeah, we have the one thing that increases the rarity of battle triggers.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I personally don't need it, but I farm a lot, so I'm gathering them just by default.
I don't need to know when I get them, because I'm not waiting until I have 5 to use them. I'm just farming until I decide I might as well go do some trigs. But the fact they said that we're going to make a distinction about how rarity shows for certain types as well, it'll delineate down, like, that is extremely welcome.
One of the questions they brought up, I'm happy that somebody said that we want more perks for joining a party.
Yeah.
And they said that they're going to bring back, well, they said it in a lot more words, but they're bringing back Tribus.
Yeah.
For being a party.
Yeah, you'll get your EXP, you'll get your rare drop rate, and I've got a feeling that they are chatting about more cooperative stuff and alliance-based stuff as well. So, yep. Alliance points again? That'd be
possibly?
The other thing. And that'll mean like that'll give you a reason to not just party, but also party with people in your alliance. Because I didn't realize this. You can't look up currently scouting alliances in NGS. You have to go to base to look them up, I think.
Yeah.
That is weird. we generally do not want you to even find a new party. I'm like, wow, okay. That kind of sucks.
It's even worse for some that only have downloaded the NGS version, not the PSO2
version. You literally can't join an alliance. You made your choice.
I mean, you can join. You still have to find them somehow randomly, but not via the search tool.
The big thing I want to see them bring back concerning party stuff is, what were they called? They're the things you drop on the ground and people can interact with them and just join your party that way.
Party markers.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have an open world game where 32 players can be in the same zone at once, but I can't just drop an item and let them, let people who pass by it party up.
Yeah, I can't. I have to do the nearby characters and just send invites out to people. And I'll be honest, man. Being in a zone and you're in the middle of combat and somebody fires you a party invite is the most fucking annoying thing in the entire world. Well, especially for a bouncer. I'm in midair, bitch. I need to keep jumping. I'm literally floating in midair and I just stop moving and a party invite comes and I'm like, no! Like,
oh yeah,
I'm missing the platform. I'm going to land down the ground. I'm about to get hit. I'm like very quickly switching through. I'm like, I will accept the invite just to actually like fight for a second and then shout at you afterwards. So, like, if there was a party beacon, I would join it. I would happily join into random parties. But like, getting that random notification actually is always an opportune. It's always an opportune time.
Yep. According to the info released before the NGS launch, Summoner was to be released following spring 2022, but there were no plans included in the roadmap from early December. What happened? And he said exactly what I said, or what I believed he was going to. We decided to put it lower on the priority list in order to fix the issue of not enough to do in game. Which is exactly, I think we discussed that before, where they were like, they probably decided to focus on making more content to do and then put the classes later. And that was exactly right.
Exactly the right move. I have no idea why they were rushing to get 4 more classes out within 1 year. Like that just seemed weird in the first place. Just even looking at it, going like, sorry, you fucking what? Like, I'm personally not. Like the thing is, right. The worst part of that is because I got what I wanted already. Because Bounce came out. Like if I had to wait 2 years for Bounce to come out, I would have been a little bit pissed. But I can understand people who mained Summoner it being a problem. But that is such a much more elaborate system of insanity. That is like, how did you expect them to have the entire Pokemon game sorted before they actually had more places to go? Like the depth of whatever the Summoner would be so shallow if they actually did compared to the way base PSO2 has its sweet boxes and had like 15 different fucking things you can grab, and they all had like separate leveling levels. And like, no, this is a stripped down game. You do not want Summoner now. You want Summoner when there's way too much shit to do and they've got like old space to work with. So I'm glad that they've actually pushed it down. They kicked the ball down the line. But the people who are not playing it because like, oh, I'm waiting for Summoner, like, dude, you are waiting for a completely different game at the moment.
They're all gonna be like, it's been 84 years.
Remember, it's been literally 9 months past the point.
We had that one. We skipped over one of the questions they asked at Operation Report, but it's kind of tied into the Battle Dia stuff already. The Battle Dia is limited quests, and they're gonna give. When they make it a limited quest, they're gonna give you the triggers for it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think fine.
See the actual like making Battle Dias part of the limited time tasks. I think that they end up asking it somewhere or nothing. It's like a lot of the limited time tasks. I'm sorry to say, there's some of them I just haven't given a fuck about and haven't bothered doing them.
Right?
It's like the reward's not worth it. What, I get another escape doll? I don't use skip dolls. If I die in a field, I'm going back through your device. I'm getting annoyed about it. I'm not going to I'm never ever going to resurrect myself in the battlefield if it comes down to that. I'm always going to go home and in frustration.
Got to the survey.
This is something that caught me off guard, but I understood exactly what was going on with it. Did all you guys hear the same things like back whenever people were complaining? They're like, "Oh, the Japanese players are okay with it."
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, they all knew it was going to be bad."
Do you know how to use Translate?
They were more pissed off about it than we are.
I think.
Like, are you kidding me?
The main thing is that global players are very vocal on social media, and the Japanese players are not that vocal. They are mostly more held back. If I can say so, and they are still angry, but they don't express themselves on Twitter also as loud as the global players do. So
they tend to be more polite where we got criticism.
The impression.
I always got the impression that they don't rage the same way. Whenever it's like, because a lot of my Twitter feed is literally like open tweet, hit translate, open tweet, hit translate, because like half my feed is literally like, especially my PSO2 feed is mostly Japanese players and stuff. And I was like, a lot of it was like, I'm extremely disappointed. I was like, oh shit, this is popping off with extremely disappointed.
Yep. So, any closing thoughts on all this stuff before we wrap this up?
I think a lot of that was closing thoughts at the same time. I think that's our wants and needs and desires. But like literally, February I'm looking forward to. The one thing that actually we've known about now since the last newsline or headline was about the mags coming back with more functionality, which is great. I'm very excited to it. if we eventually get to the point where our mag is literally our apartment and we don't have to ever go into a building, works for me. But having the music playable is going to be delightful. We have last tips if anybody's going to actually be watching this. Grab your music discs, have them at the ready, get ready to start selling them again because they are going to be useful.
Yes, for me, it's probably the music as well, and I'm really looking forward to the boss fight.
I personally think February can't come fast enough. I mean, I'm going to spend most of January partially doing the event and mostly gearing up. So when Dark Falls comes around, we'll be ready to go round 2 or round 20, whatever it is now. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? And yeah, it's going to be fun.
Good bosses never die; they just respawn.
God damn it. Alright, so I think that's everything. Thank you for watching, those of you who made it all the way through to this, and thanks again to the two of you, and I'm looking forward to doing this after the headline in February.
Always look forward to this.
All right.
It's always good for clearing out the bin, so thank you very much.
Of course.